everybody, and welcome to day 259 of Rhys's stories. And today I'm going to be reading you Moany, McMoan-The School Tour, written and illustrated by Flannery. And today I'm going to be reading you, or this evening I am going to be reading you chapter 10 and chapter 11. The rest of the week was very quiet. It was just a typical week, really. Wingy was whinging, Pete was going to and from Mrs. Strong's office. Coach Frogson was tapping his watch and making notes on his clipboard, and I was just being my usual cool self. Mr. O'Rourke told us that there was going to be a big announcement on Monday. He reckoned we would all be very happy when we heard it. It was so funny. At little break, instead of playing, we all sat around trying to figure out what the news was. Was Mr. O'Rourke leaving? Was Mrs. Strong leaving? All the girls were wondering was if Mr. O'Rourke was getting married, or something soppy like that. Must put my thinking cap on over the weekend to try work that one out. I reckon it could be that it was that I had won some other award for my crime-fighting skills, or maybe my football skills, or maybe even both. My dad and myself called up to Mrs. Small's house on Saturday because she wanted her back lawn cut. Mrs. Small reckoned I was just a little too young to be trusted with a lawnmower just yet. I reckon she was right, knowing me. I probably would have cut half of her flowers as well as the grass. Mrs. Small was very proud of her flowers. Must remember to take extra care of them during the summer holidays. Think I will have to Google looking after flowers. If I do a good job on looking after her house and garden while she is away, I will be in Dad's good books. As well as Mrs. Small's, Dad always says that it's good to have a get out of jail card. Whatever one of those are, he always says it after he buys Ma'am flowers for no particular reason. How he knows about jail, I don't know. I think one of those cards will come in handy for some other time I get into trouble. I thought about asking Mark to help with the garden, but then I pictured him getting the job instead of me because he is bigger and stronger. Just don't even tell him that, I said. He is stronger than me. That pocket money does help when I fancy a sneaky packet of sweets as a treat. No, think I will keep this job all for myself. Mark can just go and get a job for himself. Chapter 11, which I will be reading for you today. For once I was actually looking forward to going back to school. I'm busy counting down the days to the summer holidays. I was also very curious about this big announcement that was taking place today. What could it be? Were we going to be happy when we heard it? Unusually, we all took our seats quietly. There was none of the usual messing going on. Poor Mr. O'Rourke even started looking around the class very suspiciously. I predict that the announcement is going to be that they go on a school tour. His eyebrows kept going up and down, and he had a big puzzled expression on his face. That made us even more confused. If the teacher doesn't know what is happening, how are we supposed to know? Well, then I think he realized what was going on. Yeah, are all waiting for the big announcement. Aren't ye? He said. I was wondering why ye were all so quiet. Everybody just nodded, like one of those dogs that people have in the back of their cars. Well, I'm afraid ye will have to wait a little while longer before all is revealed, said Mr. O'Rourke. Mrs. Strong wants to make the announcement herself, he said. Now, we were all really panicking. Were we in trouble? What could it be? Little break time came and we all headed out to play. Even Pete was in good form. He didn't go near anyone. He spent the whole break walking around the yard, smiling at everybody. Even Mrs. Strong got a wave and a smile from him. After break, we all headed back to class, and again all was quiet. I think we will have to tell you there is a big announcement every day. If it means you will be this quiet, joked Mr. O'Rourke. We all were watching the clock instead of listening to Mr. O'Rourke, but no sign of Mrs. Strong. Lunchtime bell went. Then everybody outside again for our lunch and a quick game of football. After lunch, we all headed back to class, but when we got there, there was no sign of Mr. O'Rourke. Instead, Mrs. Strong was sitting behind his desk. She waited until everyone sat down. Slowly, she stood up and gave a little cough. Right, she said, I have some news for you all. I think it's very good news, and I hope that you will agree with me. We all started nodding again, which was funny because we still didn't know what the news was. As you know, the school tour is coming up soon. We had decided that we are going to go to the zoo for the day, but then I received a letter from the inspector who visited the school recently. He was so impressed with our demonstration that he has arranged for his class to go to the maze challenge as well. So the morning of the tour will be a visit to the zoo, and then it's off to the maze challenge. Are you happy? The whole class started to cheering and clapping. Yoo-hoo! We had no idea what the maze challenge was, but it meant that we were getting the day off school. Happy days! She said that a note was going to be sent home to our parents explaining what was going to happen, and also a permission slip which our parents had to sign. This was going to be fun. I think I will have to look up the maze challenge on the laptop before I go. I couldn't go there and make a fool of myself now, could I? And I hope you enjoyed that lovely two chapters, chapter 10 and chapter 11. And tomorrow I will be reading you more chapters or another chapter, probably about 2 or 3. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I guess I will see you all tomorrow for day 260 of Rhys's stories. So goodbye, everybody.